morning, students. This is our third part of chapter agriculture, and in this third part, we are continuing some other food crops of India. Under it, included millets. Millets, including jowar, bajra, ragi, are the important millets grown in India. Though these are known as a coarse grains, they have very high nutrition value. As basically, the main food crop in India is rice and pulses and wheat, but in rural area the rural people use the millets, and it included the jowar, bajra and ragi, and these crops are known as a coarse grains as they are having very high nutritional value. For example, ragi is very rich in iron, calcium, other micronutrients and ruggase. Jowar is the third most important food crop with respect to area and production. It is a rain-fed crop and mostly grown in the moist areas which hardly needs irrigation. So ragi crops hardly needs any type of irrigation, and major jowar producing states were Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh in 2011 to 12. If we trace the history and go back, then during the 2011 and 12, there are these states, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh were known as a major jowar producing states. Bajra grows well on sandy soils and shallow black soil. Major bajra producing states were Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat and Haryana on the basis of the survey during 2011 to 12. Ragi is crop of dry region and grows well on red, black, sandy, loamy and shallow black soil. Major ragi producing states are Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Jharkhand and Arunachal Pradesh. Now the another important crop of India is maize. It is a crop which is used both as food and fodder. It can be asked, name a crop which is used for both as food and fodder. So your answer will be maize. It is a kharif crop which requires temperature between 21 degrees centigrade to 27 degrees centigrade and grows well in old alluvial soil. In some states like Bihar, maize is grown in Rabi season also. Use of modern inputs and such as HYV seeds, fertilizer and irrigation have contributed to the increasing production of maize. Major maize producing states are Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Madhya Pradesh. Now pulses. India is the largest producer as well as a consumer of pulses in the world. These are major source of protein in a vegetarian diet. Major pulses that are grown in India are tur, arhar, urad, moong, masoor, peas and gram. Can you distinguish which of these pulses are grown in the kharif season and which are grown in the rabi season? Pulses needs less moisture. This is the physical environment which is necessary for the production of pulses. Pulses production needs less moisture and survive in dry condition. Being leguminous crops, all these crops except arhar help in restoring soil fertility by fixing nitrogen from the air. These pulses are only one crop. If we leave the arhar, then the other pulses are very useful to maintain the fertility of the soil as they fix nitrogen from the air. Therefore, these are mostly grown in the rotation with the other crops. Major pulse producing states in India are Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra and Karnataka. Now, food crops other than grain. Now we will talk about they are also food crops, but they are other than grains. These crops are known as a beverage crop and they are not come under the main food crops, or they are not called grains crop. So under it, first is sugarcane. It is a tropical as well as a subtropical crop. It grows well in hot and humid climate with the temperature of 21 degrees centigrade to 27 degrees centigrade and an annual rainfall between 75 centimeters. These are the physical requirement for the production of sugarcane, and sugarcane is an example which is food crops but not included in grains. Now that irrigation is required to the region of low rainfall. The area which are having low rainfall, The proper means of irrigation is required for the agriculture of sugarcane. It can be grown on a variety of soils and needs manual labor from sowing to harvesting. India is the second largest producer of sugarcane only after Brazil. After Brazil, India is having the second rank to produce the sugar. It is the main source of sugar, gur, jaggery, khansari and molasses. The major sugarcane producing states are Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Bihar, Punjab and Haryana. Now oil seeds. The other non-food crops than grains is oil seeds. In 2008, India was the second largest producer of groundnut in the world after China. In rapeseed production, India was third largest producer in the world after the Canada and the China in 2008. Different oil seeds are grown covering approximately 12% of the total cropped area of the country. Main oil seeds produced in India are groundnut, mustard, coconut, sesame, till, soybean, custard seeds, cotton seeds, and linseed and sunflower. Most of are edible and used for cooking, and other you can say other crops are also required for they are used the oils are used in the cosmetics products and cotton seeds, the sunflower. Most of these are edible and used as cooking mediums. However, some of these are also used as a raw material in the production of soap. Underline production of soap and cosmetics and the other ointments. Groundnut is a kharif crop and accounts for the about half of the major oilseed production in the country. Gujarat was the largest producer of groundnut, followed by the Andhra Pradesh in Tamil Nadu in 2011-12. And now tea. Another non-food crop is tea. Tea is known as a beverage crop. The cultivation is an example of the plantation agriculture. So tea cultivation is the example of plantation agriculture. It is also an important beverage crop introduced in India initially by the British. Today, most of the tea plantations are owned by Indians. The tea plant grows well in the tropical and subtropical climates, endowed with deep and fertile, well-drained soil. So, for the plantation of tea, we need the fertile soil and the drained soil rich in the humus and the organic matter. The soil which should be very much having the percentage of organic matter and rich in humus. The tea bushes require warm and moist frost free climate throughout the year. Frequent showers evenly distributed over the year ensure continuous growth of the tender leaves. Tea is a labor intensive industry. Give one example of labor intensive industry. So tea is a labor intensive industry. It requires abundant, cheap and skilled labor. Tea is processed within the tea garden to restore its freshness. Major tea producing states are Assam, hills of Darjeeling and Jalpaiguri districts in West Bengal, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Apart from these, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Meghalaya, Andhra Pradesh and Tripura are also tea producing states in the country. Now coffee, the another important beverage crops, the crops which are other than the grains is coffee. In 2008, India produced 3.2% of the world coffee production. Indian coffee is known as in the world for its quality. The Arabica variety, initially brought from Yemen, is produced in the country. This variety is in great demand all over the world. Initially, its cultivation was introduced on Baba Budan Hills, and even today its cultivation is confined to the Nilgiri in Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Now, we will talk about horticulture crops. What are the horticulture crops? In 2008, India was the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world after China. As you noted down the definition during the important term, the horticulture is the cultivation of fruits and the vegetable is known as horticulture. Now, India is a producer of tropical as well as temperate fruits, mangoes of Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal, oranges of Nagpur and Cherrapunji, Meghalaya, bananas of Kerala, Mizoram, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu, lychee and guava of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, pineapples of Meghalaya, grapes of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Maharashtra, apples, pears and apricots and walnuts of Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh are in the great demand all over the world. So you can see that in a horticulture field also how the India is growing its capacity. Now India produces about 13% of the world's vegetable. It is an important producer of pea, cauliflower, onion, cabbage, tomato, brinjal and potato. So in the field of horticulture also, that how India is growing the variety of vegetables and the variety of fruits. Now another important thing is non-food crops. There are some crops which are very essential for the industry purpose and they come under the non-food crop which are not eaten by the people. Among them, the first non-food crop is rubber. It is an equatorial crop, but under special condition, it is also grown in tropical and subtropical areas. It requires moist and humid climate with the rainfall of more than 200 centimeters and temperature above 25 degrees centigrade. Rubber is an important industrial raw material. It is mainly grown in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Garo Hills of Meghalaya. In 2010 to 11, India ranked 4th among the world's natural rubber producers. Now another non-food crops is fiber crops. Cotton, jute, hemp and natural silk are the 4 major fiber crops grown in India. The first 3 are derived from the crops grown in the soil. The latter is obtained from cocoons of the silkworms fed on green leaves, especially mulberry. Rearing of silkworms for the production of silk fiber is known as sericulture. Now cotton. The another non-food crops is cotton. India is believed to be the original home of the cotton plant. Cotton is one of the main raw material for cotton textile industry. In 2008, India was the second largest producer of cotton after China. Cotton grows well in drier parts of the black cotton soil of the Deccan Plateau. It requires high temperature, light rainfall of irrigation, 210 frost-free days and bright sunshine for its growth. It is a kharif crop and requires 6 to 8 months to mature. Major cotton producing states are Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. Now jute. It is known as the golden fiber. Jute grows well on the drained fertile soils in the flood plains where soils are renewed every year. High temperature is required during the time of growth. West Bengal, Bihar, Assam, Odisha, Meghalaya are the major jute producing states. It is used in making gunny bags, mats, ropes, yarn, carpets and other artifacts. Due to its high cost, it is losing market to synthetic fiber and packing materials, particularly the nylon. As jute is very costly, so that's why the synthetic fiber, which is known as a nylon, taking its place in the market. Now the another important term is technological and institutional reforms in the field of agriculture. It was mentioned in the previous pages that agriculture has been practiced in India for thousands of years. Sustained uses of land without compatible institutional changes have hindered the pace of agriculture development. In spite of development of sources of irrigation, most of the farmers in large parts of the country still depend upon monsoon and natural fertility of the soil to carry on their agriculture. For a growing population, this poses a serious challenge. Agriculture, which provides livelihood for more than 60% of the population, needs some serious technological and institutional reform. Thus, consolidation of holdings, cooperation, and abolition of zamindari, etc., were given priority to bring about institutional reform in the country after independence. Land reform was the main focus of our first 5-year plan. The right of inheritance had already led to fragmentation of land holdings, necessitating consolidation of holding. The law of land reforms were enacted by the laws of implementation was lacking of lukewarm. The government of India embarked upon the introducing of agriculture reform to improve Indian agriculture in the 1960 and 1970. India government of India introduced the green revolution, which is also motivated the agriculture. Then package of technology and the white revolution, which was also known as the Operation Flood, were some of the strategy initiated to improve the land a lot of Indian agriculture. But this too led the concentration of development in few selected area. Therefore, in the 1980s and 1990s, a comprehensive land development program was initiated, which included both institutional and technological reforms, provision for crops insurance against drought, flood, cyclone, fire and disease, establishment of the Grameen banks, cooperative societies and banks providing loan facility to the farmer at lower rates of interest were some important steps in this direction. Kisan Credit Card (KCC), Personal Accident Insurance Scheme (PAIS) are some other schemes introduced by the Government of India for the benefit of the farmer. Moreover, special weather bulletins and the agriculture programs for farmers also introduced in radio and televisions. Krishi Darshan is one of such programs. The government also announces minimum support price, remunerative and procurement prices for the important crops to check the exploitation of farmer by speculators and middlemen. Now, the another important term is Bhudan and Gramdan. What is all about that? We have studied that it was a movement. So Mahatma Gandhi declared Vinoba Bhave as his spiritual heir. He also participated in Satyagraha as one of the foremost Satyagrahis. He was one of the vetaries of Gandhi concept of Gram Swarajya. After Gandhi martyrdom, Vinoba Bhave undertook Padyatra to spread Gandhiji's message covered almost the entire country. Once when he was delivering a lecture at Pochampally in Andhra Pradesh, some poor landless villager demanded some land to their economic well-being. Vinoba Bhave could not promise it to them immediately, but assured them to talk to the government of India regarding provisions of land for them if they undertook cooperative farming. Suddenly Sri Ramchandra Reddy stood up and offered 80 acres of land to distributed among 80 landless villagers. This act was known as Bhudan. Later, he travelled and introduced his idea widely all over India. Some zamindars, owners of many villages, offered to distribute some villages among the landless. It was known as Gramdan. However, many landowners chose to provide some part of their land to the poor farmers due to the fear of land sealing act. This Bhudan Gramdan movement initiated by Vinoba Bhave is also known as the bloodless revolution. Why it is known as bloodless revolution? Because after the Bhudan and Gramdan movement, there was a revolution in the field of agriculture, especially who were landless farmers. They got engaged the piece of land and they continued the farming, and it was known as a bloodless revolution because it was a revolution without any violence and without any mass killing. It was only a very peaceful movement which increases the possibility of crop production for the landless farmers. So it is also important to know that if you are studying the chapter agriculture of India, then what was Bhudan and Gramdan. Thank you. God bless you.